Well, you just made my job a whole lot easier because I can get up here and my talk is what she said. Actually, I'm really glad to be able to talk with you tonight about this topic because it really is one of my favorite topics. And truth be told, it's the entire reason why I got started on the pathway I'm on anyways. I've always been fascinated with the paranormal, with metaphysics. In fact, in junior high, I was so much into ghost stories that was the only type of book I would check out from the library. And I remember one day going into the card catalog looking for something new and finding a card that didn't point me to the fiction section. It pointed me to nonfiction, and a light bulb went off in my brain. This stuff could actually be true? And that's when I discovered the 133 section of the library. We were talking about Dewey Decimal Systems. That's my favorite number. So that's when I got started learning about the true side of ghost stories and the powers that our minds have and all of this wonderful material. I got into studying numerology. I got into the tarot. I got into reading palmistry, doing palms, handwriting, and the big one that I really got into was astrology. And astrology was good for me because I was a conscious mind, logical, scientific thinker. And astrology was all about numbers. You got this book, you got the table of the numbers, you calculated things out, you drew up the chart, and you basically looked at what was there, you pulled it out of a book, you said, okay, this means that, this means that, this means that, and those three things together, okay, let me see how they would combine, and then that's how you do your readings. It was all logical, it was all conscious level stuff. When I tried getting into the realm of the non-conscious, non-logical, intuitive psychic abilities, that's when I hit the wall. I had a hard time with that because that didn't come natural to me. I was the conscious mind person, and this intuition, psychic abilities comes from the subconscious part of our minds. So it was a struggle for me. It definitely did not come natural, and I think in a way that probably makes it a little bit easier for me to be the one up here talking about this than somebody for whom it came naturally, because when something comes naturally to you, you just do it. You don't necessarily think about how you're doing it. Whereas someone like me, where I had to really struggle and figure it out and piece by piece by piece by piece, put it all together until I finally got things to work, I know how the structure is. I know what the underlying principles are behind it. And so I think I can share something with you that can help you open up those psychic abilities if you're not already there, or even on the other side, if it is something that comes naturally to you and you get so much information it's hard to tune it out, I think I can give you some ideas on how to close that door and quiet things down if you're on that side of it. So, okay, I've got about 20 minutes here. Can't cover everything. So if Linda will tell you, if I get on a roll, I just keep going, and she could be over there doing jumping jacks and all sorts of things, and I don't even notice sometimes. So, Laura Joy, since you're kind of right here in front of the big group, knock me over the head. So, okay. Because I want to try to condense everything down into 20 minutes, I'm not going to go into a lot of the background material and why we really want to get into this. I mean, other than I think we all kind of understand the reasons why we like the idea of the psychic abilities. I mean, if we're talking to somebody and they're not being completely honest with you, if you've got those psychic abilities, that intuition open, you kind of know that what they're saying isn't completely the truth. Same thing as if you get a contract and you're buying a house or a car or something, and you're just feeling that contract and opening that psychic ability and is this a good thing? You can get a yes-no answer that says either accept it as is or take it home and read the fine print, because there might be something in there that you're not really too comfortable with. Those are kind of the major benefits to having the psychic abilities open. So before I go too much further, let me kind of define what I term as psychic abilities as opposed to what's not psychic abilities. What I'm talking about tonight is really just a flow of information. I'm not talking about healing. I'm not talking about manifestation tonight, although those are things that are attached to and connected to psychic abilities. What I'm talking about right now is just information. Whether it's knowing whether someone's being honest or not, knowing whether a contract is good or not, or communicating with someone who's not right there in front of you. One of the examples in one of my books, a daughter was going to visit her mom, who is in an area of the world that doesn't really have a lot of easy communications. Didn't have a phone in the house, had to go to the neighborhood store to actually get messages and that type of thing. And so she was going to visit, and the plane was going to be delayed a day. So she had to try to get a message to her mom saying, okay, I'm not going to be there on Friday, I'm going to be there on Saturday instead. So that's another one of those examples. Let me backtrack there. Got to pay attention to my time. Okay, so one of the things that got me interested in this topic, one of the things that led me to pick this topic for tonight, I pulled a book off my bookshelf a couple weeks ago that got me started on the positive side. Like I said, I struggled with it a long time. I went through a lot of books, trying different things, and nothing really seemed to work until I found this one book. And the title of the book is called Instant ESP. It was written by someone called David Sinclair. It's out of print. I used to give away copies to everyone that I knew, and I'd always go back and buy another copy for myself. And then one time I gave away a copy and went back to the bookstore and couldn't find it. And it was years and years and years. Finally found one a couple years later, but a couple years ago. Anyways, I'm reading through this book, and it's reminding me of some things that I had forgotten about since I last read it. Primary thing, what Betty was talking about today, is that everything is based on energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our minds are energy. The world around us is energy. In fact, one of the early experiments that I did to try to develop that psychic ability was just to find an object and try to feel the energy of that object. And what helped me get into the psychic realm was after I tried to feel it, I would close my eyes, I'd walk away, and then I'd look for that energy. It's like, okay, where is that energy? Right there. So another experiment that I would do, I'd be walking down the road. At this time, I was living down in Paducah, Kentucky. Country roads, not a whole lot of traffic. I'd see a mailbox. It's like, okay, I'm going to keep walking down this road. I'm going to close my eyes, and then at some point I'm going to, mailbox is there. Open my eyes, check to see if I was right. That was one of the exercises that I did to help train my subconscious mind to communicate with my conscious mind and get that channel of communication open so that I could consciously identify the energies of the things around me. The more I did that, the better I was able to pick up information. So that's probably one of the easiest exercises to work with to help develop those psychic abilities. Later on, okay, the whole thing, yes, everything is energy, but the other major foundation piece is that we experience the essence of what we believe. Our beliefs create our experiences. That's one reason why I brought extra copies of my book, Choose to Believe, because I want everyone who doesn't already have a copy, I know several of you do, but anyone who doesn't already have a copy, please take one as you leave out today. Everything that we experience is based off of what we believe. If we believe that we are psychic, it's a lot easier for us to experience that type of perception. If we believe that we are blocked, then that belief will prevent us from noticing what's right in front of our face. There are people who get so adamant about something that even if they see something physically, they'll still deny that they saw it. One of the classic examples that I keep thinking of is the old show X-Files. The science, the doctor person in there, she would experience things, and then later on she'll say, I don't know what I experienced. She saw something, she experienced it, but she still denied it because her belief systems would not let her accept the reality of what just happened. That's just obviously a fiction example, but it's an example that I've seen in a lot of people a lot of different times. And I don't know, maybe it's happened to me, I don't know. You'll have to tell me, I don't know that. So, the foundation of the world is energy. The foundation of our experience of the world is our belief system. Our conscious mind is what I call tip of the pyramid. And our subconscious mind, when we go down from our conscious mind to our subconscious mind, if we keep on going past the subconscious mind, that's when we actually make contact with the divine mind. The mind of God, the mind of the world, if you will. And that's how we can make connections to other people, to other minds, to the fabric of reality itself. I mean, the psychic ability of precognition, being able to tell what's happening before it happens. That is a way of extending that feeling of energy through the fourth dimension of time. Just to throw that out there. Okay. I told John earlier today that I made up an outline for today's talk, and then I purposely, intentionally left it at home so I wouldn't be bound by it. and I've gone way off. I've gone way off. But I think I am carrying on with the essence of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Our minds are so capable, there really is no way of determining what our limits truly are. There's a movement that's been going on for decades called the human potential movement that essentially says that our human potential is so unlimited, it really, you might as well say it's completely unlimited. And the reason why, at least the way I believe that, is because we are so connected to the divine mind, that the divine mind of God is really just an extension of who we are. Or you could say it the other way, that we are just an extension of the divine mind. It goes both ways, because we are one and the same. Again, it goes back to the pyramid. We are the top of the pyramid. We are the capstone, conscious mind. Our conscious mind is just that capstone. The rest of the pyramid is our subconscious mind, and the earth that the pyramid sits on is the divine mind. Just imagine that they're all one piece. And then each one of us is a different pyramid on the earth, and through the divine mind that connects us is how we can get information from one person to another. In spiritualist churches, and I think in the message circle here, people give readings to each other. And what that is it's just opening that psychic ability to read the energies of a person. And my experience of that is that the energy can be interpreted in many different ways. For a long time, I won't even say then because it's still there. My normal impression of people in general is that what I see is just a focal point of a larger energy field. It's like this group right here. There's one energy field that fills this room. And it's almost like David Bohm, one of the quantum physicists, says, it's like life is a river, and each individual object is nothing more than an eddy in the water. It's a little like a tide pool or a little funnel movement in the water. and that we're all part of the same water. We're just different movements in that water. And my impression of people is just, it's like I see the physical, but I also see that energy field. But for me, it's just an energy field. There's no color, there's no form, there's no shape. But that's just simply how I interpret it. One of the experiments that I would do is I would pretend that, okay, it's a TV set. I can change the channel. And each time I change the channel, I change how I perceive the energy. So I can change the channel from my standard to aura, to where I see colors around people. Or I can change the channel to spirit entities, and then I see all these different spirits around a person. But it's all the same information. It's all the same energy. It's just how we are interpreting that. Just for one person to say, I see 7 spirits around you. Or another person could say, well, I don't see the spirits, but I see this group of colors around you. And they're interpreting the same energy, they're just interpreting it differently. So I guess what I really want to say in this is that each one of us, when we receive psychic impressions, we're going to receive it in a unique way. Just because somebody else has an experience of seeing spirits doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way to get that information. Or if somebody sees colors around a person, that's not the only way of interpreting that energy. There's many different ways of interpreting information. Now, in the symbolic solutions process that the workshop next month is going to be based on, one of the processes that I talk about is going within, and it's basically a process of relaxation, kind of like going into meditation or even a self-hypnosis. Going within, making contact with the divine mind within, and then asking for a symbol that represents a quality. For instance, if we want to increase our own level of self-confidence, we would go within, we would say, okay, I want to get a symbol for confidence. And the symbol that your deeper mind gives you is your unique symbol that may be different from everybody else's symbol for self-confidence. One of the examples that I used there is, well, actually it wasn't so much confidence, it was success. That's the example that I was talking about. I was very surprised when I went within myself and I asked for the symbol for success, because the basic concept is that once you get your symbol, you focus on the symbol, you give all your energy to that symbol, and you use that to manifest more of what you're working for. So I went in and I asked for a symbol for success. Now I'm the visual person, I'm the logical person, but what I got was a marching band playing a tune. And the only way I can think of why my subconscious, why my deeper mind associated that with success, and it's a very loose connection, is just high school sports. I was never in high school sports. But for some reason my mind associated that music with those people who I saw as being successful. So that was the connection that my deeper mind made for me. For other people, the symbol would be different. But the idea is that once we find that symbol for something, we can focus on the symbol, give that symbol energy, and we can manifest more of that essence in our lives. Bringing that back to tonight's topic, when we want to develop our psychic abilities and we want to learn how to control that channel, whether we want to keep it open or closed, we can go within and ask for a symbol of some way of controlling that channel. And when I did this for me, I got the symbol of a faucet. I can go to a faucet, and if I want to open that channel, I can turn on that faucet, and the free flow of information can come right on through. And when I'm done with it and I don't want it anymore, I can turn that faucet off and close it off. But it's never a good idea to close it off completely, because you never know what you don't know, so you can always leave it on a trickle. Give me the basic information, but don't flood me. So, really the bottom line on all of this is that as Betty was saying, everything in the world is energy. Our thoughts are energy. We are built as energy beings, and that we respond to energy in many different ways. And one of those ways is through the intuition, through those psychic abilities, and we can open and close those channels as we desire, as we see fit, and it really is just a matter of practicing. Practicing, being open, trying to clear our mind, and that is another major point that I really should stress here, is that if you're focused on doing your work, you might need to take a little bit of time and chill out before your mind clears so that you can get good information. One of the major reasons why the Coptics believe in meditation is because meditation is one of those things that helps keep your mind clear so that you can listen to the words of God. So I'm going to call it good at that. Thank you. Make sure to get a book before you leave, and I hope to see you at the workshop on the 7th.